Hey, if you're gearing up for your AWS AI Practitioner certification, you have come to the right place. We are about to dive deep into prompt engineering, a skill that's absolutely critical for getting the most out of large language models and, you guessed it, for crushing that exam. All right, here's the game plan. We're going to start by building a better prompt, the fundamentals. Then we'll level up with some advanced techniques. After that, we'll look at the knobs and dials you can turn to tune model performance. And finally, we'll wrap up with how to use prompt templates safely. Let's do it. So first things first, what's the real difference between just asking a question and actually engineering a prompt? Well, it's huge. It's about turning a kind of vague request into a super precise instruction that gets you the exact result you want time and time again. Just look at the difference here. On the left, you've got a naive prompt: summarize what is AWS. I mean, it's not wrong, but it leaves so much up to the model's imagination. You could get a single paragraph or an entire book back. But on the right, an engineered prompt is specific. It's got clear instructions, context, it leaves nothing to chance. That right there is the secret to getting consistent, top-notch results. A really solid prompt is built on 4 key parts. First, the instruction. You have to tell the model exactly what you want it to do. Second, give it some context, background info, like who this summary is for. Third, the input data. This is the actual stuff you want it to work with. And last, the output indicator. This is where you tell it how you want the answer back. For example, give it to me in a JSON format or as a 3-bullet-point list. Now, if you want to get even more precise, there's a really cool technique called negative prompting. It's exactly what it sounds like. You tell the model what not to do. You could say, do not use any technical jargon, or avoid talking about the price. It's like putting up guardrails to keep the response perfectly in the lane you want. Okay, so you've got the fundamentals down. Now let's add some power tools to your toolkit. These advanced techniques are going to be your best friend when you're dealing with more complicated tasks, both in the real world and on the exam. The simplest advanced technique is something called zero-shot prompting. Honestly, you're probably already doing it. It's just asking the model to do something cold with no examples. You're just relying on its massive built-in knowledge. And for big, powerful models, this actually works really well for common tasks like summarizing text or translating languages. But what if you need more control over the output? Well, that's where few-shot prompting comes in. With this, you give the model a couple of examples of what you're looking for. It's like saying, hey, here's what a good answer looks like. Now you try. This helps it lock onto the exact style, tone, and format you need. It's all about showing, not just telling. Okay, now for the really complex stuff. Problems that need more than just a one-step answer. For that, we have chain of thought prompting. This is a game changer. You're basically getting the model to think out loud, breaking down a big problem into a series of smaller, logical steps, instead of just jumping to the conclusion. So how do you actually make it happen? Well, you can spell out all the steps you want it to take, but, and this is the amazing part, a lot of the time all you have to do is add the magic phrase, think step by step. Just tacking that onto the end of your prompt can trigger the model to produce a much more reasoned, structured answer. It's a simple little hack, but it is incredibly powerful. All right, let's move beyond the prompt itself and talk about tuning the model's performance directly. Think of these as the control knobs on the machine. They let you dial in the exact kind of behavior you want from the AI. The first, and maybe most famous knob, is temperature. This basically controls how creative or random the model gets. If you set a low temperature, near 0, the model plays it safe. It sticks to the most common, predictable words. But if you crank the temperature up, it gets more adventurous and creative, taking risks on less likely word choices. Top P is another knob that controls which words the model can pick from. A low top P value tells the model to only consider a small group of the most likely words, which usually makes the text feel very focused and cohesive. A high value opens up the field, letting it choose from a much wider range of words, which can lead to more creative outputs. There's also top K, which is similar, but it just picks from a fixed number of top words, while top P works with probabilities. Okay, exam tip. This is super important. You need to know what affects latency. And latency is just a fancy way of saying how long you have to wait for a response. It really boils down to 4 things: the size and type of the model you're using, how long your input prompt is, and how long of an answer you're asking for. More data in or more data out means more time. It's that simple. Now, for the flip side, and this is a classic exam question, so pay close attention. What doesn't affect latency? The tuning parameters we just talked about: temperature, top P, and top K. Adjusting the creativity of the model doesn't make it faster or slower. Remember that. They will almost certainly try to trick you with this on the exam. Okay, let's talk about what happens when you're building a real application. You're not going to write every single prompt by hand, right? That would be crazy. That's where templates come in. They are essential blueprints for standardizing your prompts, but you also have to know how to keep them secure. So, what is a prompt template? It's just a pre-written prompt that has placeholders in it, just like you see here. This makes everything consistent. Your user can just fill in the blanks, and your app gets a perfectly structured, reliable response every single time. But there is a catch. These templates have a vulnerability, and it's something called prompt injection. This is where a sneaky user tries to write something in those placeholders that's designed to hijack the prompt and make the model completely ignore what you originally told it to do. For instance, a user might type something just like this into one of your input fields. They're directly telling the model, hey, forget all those other instructions, do this totally different and maybe harmful thing instead. It's basically a social engineering attack, but the target is the AI. And if your template isn't built to defend against this, well, the model might just do what it's told. The result? A hijacked model. It's now doing something you never intended, which isn't just a problem for your app. It could be a serious security risk. So how do you stop this? The big takeaway is that you have to build your defenses directly into the template. You add very clear, very explicit instructions that tell the model to stick to the original plan and to completely ignore any user input that tries to change the subject. You're essentially using a better prompt to defend against a bad one. And that leaves us with one final thought. As these AI models get more and more powerful and woven into everything we do, what does that mean for a skill like prompt engineering? Is it going to become something that everyone needs to know, like how to type or use a search engine? Or will it stay a highly specialized field for just a few experts? It's definitely something to think about.